So listen, I was doing some stock research the other day and I realized something very interesting. Even with Robinhood Gold, which I pay for, the research tools, well, they're still pretty limited when you compare it to what's out there. Like Robinhood is great for execution. I mean, it's clean, it's fast, it's simple, but that's where the problem might actually be. You see, their efforts in designing a clean, simple UI, well, it actually limits what they offer on their platform. Because when I'm trying to dig deep into whether or not I should actually invest or put my money into something, I found myself wanting a lot more. So I've been using MooMoo to fill the gap and I wanted to show you the difference. Now, here's the thing. I actually have both Robinhood Gold and MooMoo's premium data package, and I wanted to put them to the limit. So I've been testing out both. And what I found is that they serve completely different purposes. Robinhood, yes, we all know the app. Clean execution, simplicity. But it kind of stops there. MooMoo has fantastic deep research and analysis, yet easy to use the platform. And honestly, the fact that MooMoo's advanced tools are completely free if you have an account balance of $100 for 30 days, Robinhood makes you pay $5 a month for gold. And it just gives you kind of basic features. Now that's a huge difference. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through the areas where MooMoo genuinely gives you more research and, it can make you have more informed decisions with your investments. And to keep this practical, I'm going to use Apple stock as the example throughout the video. So instead of just lecturing at you, I wanted to show you a use case for how I'm using MooMoo and Robinhood. And this is just mind blowing to me because when I'm identifying a stock, so say I wanted to learn if I wanted to invest in Apple, Robinhood isn't going to give me that information. I've got these clean charts, right? It looks good, looks cool, simple. You can see how it's trending, I guess. And if you're paying $5 a month, you have access to this advanced tab, which doesn't really give you much information. There's only just a couple of the filters that you can set there. And then you can scroll and you're really not getting much information about the company itself. You can see just very vague, high level information and stats on like how the trading volume is, but you're not getting the granular details that would actually help to determine if you want to invest in it. Yes, you get analyst ratings like I mentioned before, and you can see some of the trends that are going on if you pay for Robinhood Gold, but you get all of this in MooMoo and like much, much more. So as I scroll down, nothing here would really tell me, hey, this is a good buy. If I knew nothing about the company, I'd be screwed. I'd be on a whim here. Now, if I go into MooMoo, right, and this is the same, I'm in Apple stock. First off, you can learn why percentages like, why it's going up, what's going on in the market. If I'm in Robinhood and I say, oh, listen, the past day, Robinhood stock went up 2%. Why did it go up 2%? Well, I'd go to the news section, and the first news article here is Vanguard's total stock market ETF sees positive fund flows amid market challenges. Like, nothing to do with Apple here, okay? So I don't really know what's going on. Well, in MooMoo, they do this really cool thing where you could scroll down, and you get this freaking daily or weekly brief, right? So it gives you key updates on a day-to-day basis. So why did this go up? Well, it could be because OLED tablet panel shipments rise 39% by 2026, led by Apple iPad Pro. Super cool. Also, there's trading data that you get. So if you're somebody who's interested in learning more about trading and the different indicators that you can use, well, here you go. The stock price has broken above the middle Bollinger Band, and while forming multiple golden crosses as it surpasses the MA5, MA10, and MA20, indicating strengthening upward momentum. You can click into that and whoa, check it out. You can see exactly what they're talking about. It's filtered, ready for you to go, and you can break it down. Okay, so cool. Yeah, might be overwhelming for some, but let me go into like, hey, this is a new company. I know nothing about them. Click on the company tab and check this out. Like, this is what psychs me up. There's so much cool information here. You've got the revenue, EPS, just like good financial information up front. You have the analyst ratings like you had in Robinhood, but you get it more granular. Who's actually rating these? What's going on? What is JP Morgan saying? What is Barclays saying? Like, you get all of these individuals. So if there's some that you trust more than others, well, you can get their thoughts on it, right? You've got your Morningstar research here, which goes, again, in more detail than what we saw with Robinhood. And if you just wanted news, hey, all of this is pertaining to Apple and like it's just formatted super well. Anyways, as I keep going, you can see how the company is valuated here. You've got the operating data, right? So you can look at the smartphone market share, what's going on, how it's trending just at a glance. And you can do smartphone chip market and like just sector by these different things. Now you can see the revenue breakdown. And if I go into business, you can see all the ways that Apple is making money. So what's leading for them? 50% of the revenue they are generating from the iPhone market, $209 billion. Well, I like companies that are diversified. I want them to have multiple income streams because say they tank with an iPhone and it doesn't do well. Well, guess what? They've got $109 billion in services. So you've just got like the breadth of knowing, hey, what is this company doing? How are they diversified? And then I like to invest in companies that don't just focus on one market. So are they just pertaining to the US? You can click on market and boom, US, Europe, Greater China, rest of Asia Pacific. I mean, you know this stuff about Apple, but when you're looking at new stocks that you're trying to identify, this becomes so valuable. You've got financial statement access that you can look at. You've got financial indicators, and you can look at, how their operating profit is, which is super important. But you also just get revenue data, net income, all of these different things. And this is why I can feel a lot more comfortable in breaking down, what's going on their balance sheet and how does that pertain to me wanting to invest in a company. It all comes back to financial information. And when I look at what you get with Robinhood and when I look at what you get with MooMoo, it's a night and day difference. You can make well-informed, educated decisions and actually build a really strong portfolio when you are using MooMoo. So now that you've seen this plethora of information that you get, I want to talk about 3 key features that I think puts them in a whole different league. Okay, so let's talk about feature 1, which is advanced charting and technical indicators. And we'll start with Robinhood Gold. Remember, you're actually paying for this, $5 a month. Now here's what you get for charting. You can see price movement, change time frames, and you get a few basic indicators. Yeah, it's functional, but again, it's pretty limited. Even with Gold, you're not getting near the depth of charting tools that serious traders will want to use. And for contrast, here's MooMoo. Same stock, completely different experience. Now, MooMoo gives you over 60 technical indicators with 38 drawing tools. So if you want to analyze trends with RSI, MACD, Bollinger Bands, moving averages, whatever you can think of, you can layer all of that right within the platform. Let me show you what I mean. So say I wanted to identify support and resistance levels on Apple. Well, I can draw trend lines like this. Or if I want to see the stock is overbought using RSI, I can add that in seconds. You can also customize your workspace. You can set up multi-monitors, different chart layouts, save your configuration, and it's built for people who actually want to do technical analysis, not just glance at a chart real quick. Now, Robinhood Gold's charting is fine if you're pretty casual, but if you're trying to time entries, you're trying to spot patterns or do any real meaningful technical work, which is super important, well, MooMoo's tools are in a completely different league. And again, when you have money in your account, these you can access nearly for free with MooMoo. So let's talk about feature number 2, which is stock screening and discovery. Now, this is extremely important and probably the main lever that I'm pulling when I'm identifying stocks. Now, Robinhood has a discovery section where you can browse trending stocks, like what's hot, collections, different lists that are out there. It's good for getting inspiration, but that's where it stops. It's not really a stock screener. So actually, I mean, Robinhood does kind of have a stock screener, but it's very limited, right? So when you find, if you have a specific criteria, like show me all tech stocks with a PE under 20 and positive earnings growth, I mean, you could start that in Robinhood, but you're still limited. Once you identify those, you're not getting a ton of information about the companies. I've also found that their stock screener in direct comparison to MooMoo has less screening criteria, and I found that MooMoo's stock screener is just more reliable. MooMoo, on the other hand, well, it has a full-featured stock screener with over 100 different variables. So let's say I want to find dividend stocks to meet my criteria. I can filter by dividend yield, payout ratio, sector, market cap, PE ratio, revenue growth, and I can get super granular and specific here. That's just the surface of it. And then it gives me an entire list of all the stocks that match that criteria. Now from there, I can dig into each one. I can compare them side by side and actually make informed decisions about what to invest in. Now this is especially useful if you're moving beyond just buying big names that everybody's talking about. If you want to actually discover opportunities that fit your specific strategy, you're going to need a real screener, and MooMoo gives you that practically free. So let's talk about feature number 3, which is the depth of financial data and analysis that you can do. Okay, so when you're investing, the most important thing is understanding the finances of these companies. You can create projections based off of that, but you really want to know as much information as you possibly can. So Robinhood Gold does give you access to Morningstar research reports, which, are actually decent. I'll give them credit for that. You get analyst ratings, price targets, and some fundamental breakdowns, right? But here's where MooMoo goes even deeper. You see, MooMoo gives you full-fledged financial statements right within the app. You get income statements, balance sheets, cash flow, all laid out clearly. You can see trends over multiple years. You compare quarters, track revenue and profit margins in details, and you also get insider trading activity. So you can see if executives are buying or selling their own stock and what's going on. And you also get institutional data, which shows you where big money managers are putting their money. Where are they investing in? Are they going into those stocks that you're interested in? Might signal a decent time to buy. And yes, MooMoo has analyst ratings and price targets similar to what you get in Robinhood Gold's Morningstar reports. Plus, if you're into options, MooMoo tracks unusual options activity, big trades that might signal where smart money is going and positioning. And the bottom line is that Robinhood Gold gives you enough to get by, while MooMoo gives you professional level data. And again, MooMoo's version is free with $100 accounts, so you can wipe out that $5 sort of fee that you'd be paying with Robinhood. Now, if you want to get the same setup that I'm using, there's a MooMoo link in the description, okay? You can get all the details there. They've got about $1,000 into NVIDIA stock right now as a sign-up bonus and 8.1% APY on cash through their Cash Suite program. Using my link does help support my channel too, which I really appreciate. All right, so here's my honest take after using both. If you're a complete beginner and you just want to buy a few shares of Apple, or you want to throw your money into the S&P 500 ETF and not think about anything, Robinhood is probably fine. It's simple, it's clean, and you don't need to overthink it. But if you're the kind of person who actually wants to research what you're buying, whether that's an individual stock or you want to compare ETFs or just make more informed decisions, what you should be doing with investing, well, MooMoo's tools are going to serve you so much better. And here's the thing, MooMoo's advanced charting and screening tools and financial data, once you get $100 in your account, you don't need to worry about it. You don't have a cost to it. Now, Robinhood makes you pay $5 a month for gold just to get basic research reports and a few extra features. So for me, I keep both. I actually use both. MooMoo for deeper research and managing my positions, and Robinhood for quick buys like the S&P 500 ETFs when I don't need to watch them closely. Now, if I had to choose one for serious investing, MooMoo wins on research tools hands down. Now listen, at the very least, if you are trying to become a more informed, well-educated investor, then there is absolutely no harm in downloading MooMoo. Heck, I think if you go and download MooMoo, you look under the hood a little bit, you start using the different features, you are going to love it and you're never going to look back. So I'd highly recommend it going into the description. Go and check out MooMoo Investing. If you guys made it this far into the video, you have any questions, make sure you leave a comment down below. I try to get back to everybody. Thank you so much for checking out this video and have a great day.